What is up, guys? Do you even worst favorite games? Today, I'm talking about the games that you had growing up and you enjoyed playing them, but they were terrible games. They weren't good games. The bad games that you liked, or games that you wanted to enjoy for whatever reason. Maybe that was the only game you got for Christmas, but you played the shit out of that game so you could force yourself to like it. Or maybe it was a game you thought had really cool graphics and it seemed like a cool concept, but it just wasn't. You just could not like the game for whatever reason. So guys, today I'm going to talk about a few games I played growing up, my worst favorite games. Let's talk about it. Alright guys, so the first game I'm going to talk about today was a game I played on the Genesis. Now this game was on multiple platforms, including the arcade, but I had the Genesis version. And the funny thing was, I didn't ask for this game, I actually asked for a different game. I remember one year, I really wanted Streets of Rage for the Sega Genesis. And I told my parents, I think it was Christmas. And Christmas comes, you know, I'm opening presents. They always gave me the games last for whatever reason. You know, you got your games last because those were the exciting games to get. But I opened the present. Little RetroBro opens the present. I knew it was a game because those clamshells. It wasn't a VHS. It was too small, too narrow. And lo and behold, I got not Streets of Rage, but Primal Rage. And I didn't know much about Primal Rage. I never played the arcade version of Primal Rage. And I'm like, oh, what is this? And my mom's like, you asked for that game. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. You know, I played it off because, you know, I would have felt bad if I would have pretended like, or if I would have told her, like, oh, this wasn't the game, Mom. So I went along with it. I'm like, sure, you know what? Primal Rage. I love Street Fighter, right? This might be a really cool game. It was okay. And I will say this about Primal Rage for the Sega Genesis. Graphically, it's a very graphically appeasing game. It's a very pretty game for the Sega Genesis. The background, the people in the background, you can step on the little people who are like cheering you on. I thought that was kind of cool. But it was a cool looking game. It was an okay concept. I remember the one monkey you could like fart and it would be a big gas cloud to attack your enemy. So I used to get a kick out of that, but it was not a good game. It was not a good game. So I played it over and over because, you know, I get 2 games a year, and I played it over and over, and I really wanted to like it. And I would to this day put it in my like top 10 favorite worst games. This is my favorite worst game. So I'll say that one about Primal Rage. It was my favorite worst game. I wanted to like it. I didn't hate it, but it just was not a good game. It was not a good game, and it was a disappointment. But I played the shit out of some Primal Rage. So, as we're on the topics of Sega Genesis, I missed the Sega CD generation. I always kind of wanted one, but I never got one because by the time the Sega CD was really coming into its own, there was other options, Sega Saturn, then you had the PlayStation. So it was very short-lived, and it never really came to fruition. I never got one. But there was a game on there, a Sonic game, that I never played up until maybe a couple years ago. And I only recently tried to sit down and play this game, and I really wanted to like Sonic CD, but it was just, I'm sorry, it's not a good Sonic game. It's not a good Sonic game because the whole purpose of Sonic is to go from left to right, sometimes do it as fast as it is humanly possible. Sonic CD added this future, past, so you had to hit these checkpoints. Now, it did add a lot to the game. It made the games longer, but I'm not looking for my Sonic games to be this long, drawn-out adventure. It played like a great Sonic game. It felt, it sounded mechanically, it was a Sonic game through and through, until they added the nonsense of the past and future. So Sonic CD is also one of my worst favorite games. I really wanted to like it. I really want to like it, and I still go back occasionally to try and play this game to really enjoy it. And I just find myself frustrated and annoyed and just not pleased overall. So Sonic CD, one of my worst favorite games. All right, the next one is another fighting game, and I played it on the PlayStation. Now, to give you some background as to why I picked this game, you have to remember I played stuff like Street Fighter, well, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, Tekken 3, faster style fighting games. I was never really a big fan of Virtual Fighter, but I felt like this was more in line with that, and that was the original Dead or Alive on the PlayStation. I could not get into this game. I wanted to like it because of the jiggle mechanics, and I was, I don't know, 12, 13, so the jiggle mechanics were a thing, and you wanted to watch the jiggle mechanics. Do you even jiggle mechanic, bro? You had to play this game as a 13-year-old boy. The jiggle mechanics was a new thing, and we wanted it. But I'm sorry, I did not think it was a good fighting game. I could never get into it. And it's not a bad game, but I was just used to things like Street Fighter and Tekken, and not these slower paced, not really combo style fighting games, but back and forth type fighting games. It's very hard to explain. Mechanically, I was used to stuff like Tekken, because that's what I was playing on PlayStation at the time, and then to go from that to Dead or Alive, it was a tough game. But one of my worst favorite games, because at the time, because of jiggle mechanics, and you kept playing that game over and over, and that's why. The last game I'm going to talk about is a game that I really wanted to like, because again, I thought this game graphically was the coolest game I had seen from a platformer. 3D platformers really weren't a thing yet when I played this game, so I thought this was just groundbreaking. I thought this was amazing, and that was Bug 2 for the Sega Saturn. Now, I still go back and play this game because mechanically it's a good game. It's a fun game. I love the atmosphere, but the game is so unbelievably hard. It makes you want to scream and pull whatever hair you have left out of your head. So, Bug 2 is definitely one of my worst favorite games. I got this game back in the day. My best friend had a Sega Saturn before the PlayStation had even come out yet. He had like I don't even know how he got a day one Sega Saturn, but he was like the kid who had everything, and he had Bug 2. And I thought Bug 2 was a pretty amazing game because I'd never seen this 2.5D platformer where not only can you go left and right, but you could go, back, forward, left, right, up, pretty much all over the screen. Now it was all on one plane because it wasn't an open world type thing, but the only thing mechanically bad about this game is when you have a large depth field, like if you're on a big platform and you're trying to figure out where you're at on that platform, because the camera angle is stationary like it would be on a 2D platformer. But when you move back, sometimes it throws your distance off, so you don't know if you can land on a platform, so it makes it very, kind of guess. Makes it very difficult to platform some of these areas of this game. But Bug 2 is definitely one of my worst favorite games. It's a game I still try and play to this day because I really want to like it. It's just I don't know why. There's just something about that game. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys have played any of these games. Definitely, like, in the comments, tell me some of your worst favorite games. Like, tell me some of the games you got maybe because you didn't have a choice, and that was the only game you were getting for a few months, so you just played it in hopes that you would like it. Or, you know, it was just something you thought was cool and it was a cool concept and you really wanted to enjoy it, but you couldn't. So guys, let me know your comment. Let me know your games in the comment section below. Until next time, do you even retro, bro? See you on the next video.